own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro show will always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. And so, we gavel to order today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our total, immersive, immovable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here for the balance of this singular, extraordinary morning. A gentle warning, this is not a safe harbor for stupidity. Such silliness will be roundly and, dare I say, harshly attacked throughout the program. We will not suffer fools gladly. Their foolishness and ignorance, willful or otherwise, will be called out with intent, purpose, and vigor, designed and sadly necessary to save our great American Republic from evil, senselessness, and weakness, which even now can bring down this incredibly successful experiment. Well, guys, we got a interesting slate. We have the gang from ARC here today, and they're going to drop by in probably our 10 o'clock hour. And, of course, we've got Monday Musings on a Tuesday, which I just asked John if he can move to the 11 o'clock hour, which I think he can. And I just some recollections and some thoughts. I'm not sure what you guys did on your Veterans Day, your Memorial Day. I started off, and when we have Rick Bigelow on, now his father was a veteran. Rick is a veteran. And he tells me that his theme song is from The Longest Day. So I said, that's a movie I never saw in full. So I watched it yesterday morning. And it was awesome. Oh, my God, the stars in it, if you're my age or so. I mean, like a young Sean Connery pops out of nowhere before he became James Bond. And all kinds of people like that. Amazing movie, but it really made you focus on the people who gave their lives, because there were thousands just that day. The sacrifices they meant, the challenges that they met, the danger they put themselves in, the courage they demonstrated. All of those that we honor on Memorial Day. And then I put on Band of Brothers, which was running on AMC. And another classic. It was the HBO movie. And as you probably know from this program and yourselves, there were several area natives that were part of the Band of Brothers and featured on the show. It's like a movie, but it's a multi-part series. Both awesome. And then I went to a party, which is what we do. I went to my friend Joey Machaco's and had a great time with the gang over there. But, I hope you had the chance. Sean from Larksville, did I call it Monday? He says, Bobby, it's Tuesday, not Monday. And thank goodness. I love short weeks, says Sean. I don't, because then I don't get to hang around with you as much. And I mean that, as strange as it sounds. We can't get everything we need to get done. But that's okay. That's okay. In any event, we got a lot to do this week and a lot to do today. I want you to meet the gang from ARC. It's parents, it's kids, it's all that. They'll be in here. They'll invade the studio at the 10 o'clock hour, and we'll talk to them. And I want to remind you, too, we're running on live stream. You go to YouTube, go WILK, Bob Cordaro Show, and you'll find a lot of stuff, but you'll find today's episode. I'm wearing my all-time great It's black with this tattered American flag. It's gorgeous. So you'll know you're watching today. And it's all brought to you by our friends Roach Supply. Roche. You go roachsupply.com. They are the premier bath and kitchen supplier. If you need anything done in either, you check with Roach. You check with that gang. It's 3 generations working there now. Nonagenarian and veteran Ron Roach is still at the helm with 2 veterans or 2 generations beneath him, and they are great. So all of that you could see. And we'll go from there, all right? We've got to take our first break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Let's hear from our great sponsors, a little history, a little music, and then we'll be back on the program. I don't know if I ever heard that version of the song. Murph says this date, 1962, the Isley Brothers released their hit Twist and Shout on Wand Records. How about that? And, of course, in our little history segment, the House Un-American Activities Committee, established by Congress 1938. Bob Cordaro back with you. Well, guess what? You know when they say, and there's more? Well, yeah, we got more. And that is Penguin tickets to give away. We've got a family 4-pack of tickets to tomorrow night's game, the May 27th game against the Toronto Marlies. Our Pens are still kicking butt. 7:05 p.m. right here at the arena at Casey Plaza. Toronto Marlies, 7:05. So we're going to give them away now. So it's 570-883-0098 for the 8th caller. Why not the 8th caller? Bulldog, right? Why not? So the 8th caller to 570-883-0098 will win the 4-pack of tickets to go to tomorrow night's great hockey game. Man, they're doing great. We're having fun with them. All of that. So call in. You'll get a chance to win these tickets. 570-883-0098. Keep trying. We'll go to the 8th caller. Somebody texted in, the investigators in the Un-American Activities Committee didn't go far enough. Well, you know what's interesting? I thought about it. There was the same mentality as in this country as there is today, like anti-patriotism and this country and we better become common. There was that even in the 30s. There was that sentiment among a minority of the population. But see, they didn't control the media. They didn't control academia. They didn't control these foundations and these NGOs. They didn't control these church groups. They didn't control the public employee unions. And they weren't out loud about it. And maybe that's a good thing. They're not as subversive. They're right in your face. But you make a good point. Quite amazing and scary. But it was something that when I was listening to the history moment there, that I said, man, they're just right in your face now. Bernie Sanders with this clown Graham Plattner up in Maine, like holding hands, and oh my God, these are sick. These are mentally ill people. The people are mentally ill or evil that are running today's Democrat Party. There's no way to sugarcoat it. By the way, more importantly, in a way, one of our great listeners, let's see who texts in. He says, on Band of Brothers, main character Lieutenant Winters, born in New Holland, and First Lieutenant Harry F. Welsh was from Wilkes-Barre. Yep, says Tom from Dallas. And he says, if you watch Band of Brothers and haven't watched the Pacific yet, do it. I have watched the Pacific. I've got to, and I didn't have time to put that on yesterday, but that is equally excellent. Equally excellent. All right. A lot to talk about. I'm sure we're going to have a winner by the time we come back. But let's take this. Who's the winner, Bulldog? Scott from Pittston. He's got that family 4-pack of tickets to tomorrow night's Penguins game. Great for you, and thank you for calling. And thanks for everybody for calling. We love when you participate with us. We'll take a break. We'll be back with our Veterans Tribute after this. Veterans Tribute. Today, as with every day, particularly as we're coming off of Memorial Day, that was a guy named David Yoho, a World War II veteran, speaking at the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. And John Basiliga dutifully, proudly brings all of this to you every day. And today we talk about another group that deserves our respect and care, our senior citizens. And there's no better way to do that than have them live in one of these amazing facilities, the Serenity Care Personal Care Community. Mid-Valley, Old Forge, Wyoming, Kingston, all completely renovated, and they are the class of senior living in Northeast Pennsylvania. Dementia care units at the Mid-Valley and Kingston locations. They're awesome. James Tierney. He was from Chapman's Lake. We lost him at age 82, May 7th. Survived by his wife and best friend, Diane Dance Tierney. They were married back in 1987. Born in Carbondale, he was a graduate of Benjamin Franklin High School. After graduation, he enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps at the age of 17. He served during the Vietnam War, working as a crash crew fire and rescue man. He was honorably discharged as a corporal after 4 years of service to us. He worked for 25 years as a maintenance engineer and locksmith for Tobyhanna Army Depot and enjoyed a long and happy retirement after that. He loved making toy boxes for his grandchildren, refinishing furniture. Oh, hunting was his passion. He loved to fish, too. Target practice, riding quads. He enjoyed his daily lunch with the crew at Finch Hill Diner, and in his obit, the family would like to say they'd like to thank Valone and Sefke, the owners of the diner, for keeping Jim Tierney healthy all these years. He was a member of the American Legion in German as well as the VFW. Survived by 4 children, 12 grandchildren, 4 great-grandchildren. Tragically preceded in death by his daughter, Ellen Tierney Tallarico. James Tierney. Dorothy Kramer. We lost her May 10th. She was from Scranton. Born in Buffalo, New York, graduate of Riverside High School in Buffalo. She then graduated from College Misericordia with a Bachelor of Music Therapy and a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. She worked for over 20 years for Bell Atlantic Telephone until 1976. She then worked as a music therapist at Scranton Counseling Center until 2003 when she retired. She served us in the United States Marine Corps starting in 1956. Surviving are a daughter, her daughter's husband, another son-in-law, a granddaughter, tragically preceded in death by her daughter, Carol McDaniels. Dorothy Kramer. Our great veterans this hour brought to you by John Basiliga and his great Serenity Care Senior Living Community. AccuWeather forecast brought to you by the great gang, and they are swinging into summer now up at Montage. And it's going to be a beautiful week this week, by the way. Here it is. Today, less humid with sun through high clouds. It'll be 83 degrees. Wasn't yesterday lovely? Tonight, partly cloudy, low 64. Tomorrow, Wednesday, very warm with sun through high clouds, high 85, lows 57. Thursday, a little cooler, breezy and less humid with partial sunshine, 72 degrees, low 48. Friday, partly sunny, pleasant, breezy in the afternoon, high 73, low 51. Hey, they're taking us all the way to Saturday. Breezy with periods of clouds and sunshine, a shower in spots in the afternoon, high 66, low 45. And that is your weather, brought to you by the great gang at Montage Mountain Resort. Elvis. Murph says this date, 1963, he recorded his hit, You're the Devil in Disguise, RCA Studios, Nashville, Tennessee. My man Mark Mayer texts in from a fellow Chaminade quality athlete. A movie I mentioned last week, one of you rightfully suggested it, but he passed this along yesterday, Memorial Day, and it's called Taking Chance, and Kevin Bacon's in it. The Chaminade guy says it's admittedly not one of the high explosion to frame ratio bullets and broads blockbusters, but it's a small movie that portrays the reverence in almost poetic detail afforded the remains of those of us who made the ultimate sacrifice. And he sent that out to all his friends from Chaminade on Memorial Day. We talked about that. It is a great movie. Absolutely great movie. Somebody said, did you get to see the Memorial Day concert on PBS? Absolutely beautiful. I did not. I was hanging around a very Italian backyard in West Scranton, Joe Machaco's house. And what do I define as very Italian? Well, there's not a blade of grass in the whole black backyard. That's very Italian to me. It's classic. Absolutely classic. Mary Regina, being patient with me as she always is. She says, Bob, here's your mother Teresa, St. Teresa, before you get too busy. And she's right. Let's see. It's come a little bit different. Faithful to the time spent, be paid faithful to the time spent in prayer. And make sure that at least half of your prayer is spent in silence. This will bring you closer to Jesus. If you deepen your prayer life, you will grow in holiness and obtain many graces for the souls entrusted to your care. Deepen your love for one another by praying for each other and by sharing thoughts and graces you have received in prayer and reading. St. Teresa, Mother Teresa for today. Thank you, Mary Regina. And thank you for pushing me to do it, because you're right. I could get caught up. And by the way, I thought I want to find out who sent me this yesterday. I think it was yesterday. But this beautiful, which I've read before on air, and I had it printed. I had the Bulldog printed so I could keep it sort of in my stack. Oh, my man Bart Billings, Dr. Bart Billings sent it. It is the soldier. It is the soldier, not the minister, who has given us freedom of religion. It is the soldier, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of the press. It is the soldier, not the poet, who has given us freedom of speech. It is the soldier, not the campus organizer, who has given us freedom to protest. It is the soldier, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial. It is the soldier, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote. It is the soldier who salutes the flag, who serves beneath the flag, and whose coffin is draped by the flag, who allows the protester to burn the flag. Yeah, that was great. Bart Billings sending me that. Charles Province, U.S. Army. And it's one of those things that, I'll read it on air and I'll forget about it. And so this time I said, I'm not forgetting about this one. And I've got it all printed up. So thank you again, Dr. Bart Billings, for that. Big deal. All right, let's take our break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We will come back. And remember, at the other side of the news, we've got the great people from ARC here. We're going to talk to them about their big event coming up. But before that, we've got a little more to do. We'll be back.
going to do. Jaden is going
That's the Rolling Stones. Murph tells us that on this date, 1966, they had the #1 hit in the UK with Painted Black. Well, the gang from Ark is here. And then they were on with Lissa down at KRZ next door, and they were on with Doc and Chewy on Froggy. But I wanted them for myself, so here they are again. Jerry, tell it. We're going to get into a little more in depth after the news, but tell us what do we have going? Tell us about this great event this gang's putting on.
Bob, first of all, I want to thank you so much for having us here. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here on this radio station.
Well, we love you. We were just saying, we couldn't believe a year has passed. Oh, amazing. But so tell us about our big event.
Well, our big event will take place on June 11th at the People's Security Bank Theater at Lackawanna College Theater in Scranton. At 6:30 is the red carpet walk. It's one night only. It is a great community event, and if you have never experienced adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities on stage performing, you are missing something really
You
special.
haven't seen theater if you don't see this gang. I agree. I agree.
35 adults, stars. We call them stars.
Give me the date again. Give me the date and time.
June 11th, Thursday night.
Okay, June 11th, Thursday night. So by the way, I'll remind you on air, somebody's got to call in to talk about this.
Oh, yeah.
More than a few times between now and then.
Thank you.
Because we want to remind people. Yeah.
I think I might have a few theater buddies who would be thrilled to call in. The theater buddies are the young people who help out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have some parents here as well.
Caretakers, yeah.
Yeah, all right, so Jerry, it's going to be hard to do, but you've got to do some introductions. Everybody, they always say this. They say if you're in the Scranton area and everybody isn't introduced, you're not in the Scranton area. So let's do it. Who's behind me? Let's start from this way.
Okay, so I'm not going to name the adults, if that's okay with you.
That's
I'm
okay.
going to say that the adults and the caretakers are here. And I'm going to have Jaden start. Jaden is a theater buddy. She'll tell you a little bit about herself. And then she'll introduce those stars on that side. Go ahead, Jaden.
Hi, I'm Jaden Kuschik. I've been a theater buddy for 4 years since I was a junior in high school at North Pocono, and now I'm a junior in college studying early childhood and elementary education.
Where are you at, Jaden? Where do you go to school?
Marywood University.
Oh, neat.
Behind me, I have a few of my friends. I have Mikey, who's behind me.
Mikey, come on up and say hello.
Hello, Cordaro. I'm Mike and I'm Flounder.
Flounder is
A part of the world.
I like how he says my name, too, Cordaro.
And part of your world, is that your favorite song
Yeah,
in the
Little
show?
Mermaid.
All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
World.
Come on closer to the mic and sing it again.
A part of that world.
I also have one of my beautiful aerials here.
This is my girl Sheila.
Sheila, what part do you play? And Sheila, you have your own costume, don't you?
Yes.
You do. And Sheila, I also remember last year you had requested that we do the Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Because you have your own costume, isn't that right? Yeah. So it's going to be gorgeous and glittery.
Now, I would have been satisfied with the same play every year. I would have been. But you're doing a whole new deal. It's amazing.
Bob, we have a theatrical troupe. After 9 years, they are literally a theatrical troupe. They put in their request for the next year's show on day one of rehearsal.
How great is that? Oh,
How about
amazing.
Tyler over here?
I have another beautiful aerial with me.
My name is Tara and I play Ariel.
How about your favorite song?
And you brought your own headphones too.
My kiss the girl. That's my favorite part. Yes.
Nice. Nice.
Kiss the girl.
All right, well, guys, we're going to go. We have to do a news break because I look at my Bacardo Jewelers watch. You all know Bacardo Jewelers.
Yep.
And it tells me when it's time for the news, and it says it is time for the news now. So we're going to do the news, and then we're going to come back with this amazing gang from ARC that's going to they are just going to tear the curtain down on June 11th. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Great good morning, everyone. My Picardo Jewelers watch said, I didn't say good morning to you. I'm saying good morning to the audience. It's 10:05 a.m. on my Picardo Jewelers watch. This beautiful Tuesday, May 26th, year of our Lord 2026, here in the great Northeast. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor, with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Serenity Care senior living community, the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today, thanks to John, like Dorothy Kramer of Scranton, James Tierney, Chapman Lake via Carbondale, Kashmir Azaravich, Pittston, Henry Sufnar, Pennington, New Jersey, but he was from Mayfield. And then we've got John O'Shea, Scranton, and Linda Nuss, Wilkes-Barre.
Wow.
That's our veterans, that's right. So, with history, our amazing founding fathers, who we will not allow to be canceled, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle, gaveling back to order today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense. And what better sense could we have than the gang from ARC, who's got their big performance at Lackawanna College on June 11th. Amazing stuff. All right, Jerry, who's next?
All right. Well, we have Bob. I just want to also mention that Bob will be one of 3 celebrities that will be introducing the stars. That night.
We have two actual celebrities. Yeah, 2 actual celebrities. Lissa Cronky from KRZ, and is it Doc or Chewy's going to do it?
Doc Chewy will be in.
Oh, Doc and Chewy. Well,
Chewy's gonna be on vacation.
Chewy's up. Okay. Okay. But Doc is coming. So you have 2 stars and you have me.
No.
It's 2 celebrities.
3 celebrities. What do you guys say?
All right. So who's next? Who do we want to talk to next,
Okay.
Jerry?
Michael, do you want to introduce who's next?
You. Sheila. Shannon.
Go ahead, honey.
Go ahead, Shannon.
Go ahead.
Founder.
So Shannon plays the part of.
Founder.
Flounder.
Yes.
How nice.
And do you have a favorite song?
I don't remember.
That's okay. That's okay. This is Shannon's first year with the Archangels on stage.
Man,
Right, Shannon?
Shannon's first year.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Thank you. All right. Next up, we have Kristen.
Come on, Kristen.
Where's Kristen?
Are you sure it's me?
Yeah.
And they can hear. You don't have to talk right into the mic. They can
That's
hear.
right.
Yeah,
And
they can
what
hear.
part are you playing?
I'm playing Ursula.
And you are the only Ursula, I understand.
Yes.
That's
Oh, so you're
wonderful.
playing the bad girl, are you?
Yes. Melissa McCarthy's character.
Are you as bad as Melissa?
I don't know. If she shows up to the show, I'll be surprised. So if anybody out there knows Melissa McCarthy, call her, or FaceTime her, or get her.
All right, I got a couple back near me now. Who do we have here?
My name is Michael Phillips, and I'm doing Sebastian.
Oh, nice. Sebastian the
favorite
Crab's
song?
one of my favorites.
One of One Bites the Dust.
Oh, yeah. All right, well,
Fuck
let's
weird.
preface that, right, Michael? So we have, every
No,
year,
bite the
we
dust.
bring in another one bites the dust, or we bring in a little bit of bad
Bad
to
to
the
the
bone. So let's do a little bit of another one bites the dust, ready? Another
No,
one
bite
bites
the
the dust.
dust.
Yeah.
If you're just tuned in and you're wondering what is this, it's the gang from ARC. They're performing their annual theater production at the theater at Lackawanna College, People Security Theater at Lackawanna College, June 11th, and I'll be happy
And
to
it's
be
free
there
admission.
participating.
Yes.
Free admission, and I'm telling you, it's fabulous. Cutie and I went last year. We couldn't get enough of it. Go ahead.
Okay, who do we have next?
Louie.
Louie's in back of Bob. Go ahead.
Yes.
Louis.
I'm the captain.
Oh, he's got the captain's hat on. Now, is that his own?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you've got your own
He came wearing
captain's
that to
hat.
the first rehearsal.
Nice. Well, you could. You knew you had to give him the part when he brought the hat.
That's exactly right. Oh, that's the way it rolls. They tell us what parts they would like.
Uh-huh.
Even though they audition, right?
Yeah.
They audition, most of them do get the part they desire.
Nice. Nice.
Working a year on.
Working a year for it.
That's what I did.
That's it. Next year's our 10th year.
Amazing.
Expect.
So, Jerry Featherby, who else do we have? Who
has not?
I think so. My name is
Yeah,
Tyra.
we talked.
It's Tyra.
Tyra,
yes.
come on over.
We can hear from you again, Tyra. Get in there.
Okay.
My name is Tyra. I play Ariel, and I'm here with my mom and dad.
Oh, Mom and Dad are here. Nice.
And Tommy, we didn't hear from you yet.
Hey, Tommy.
Hi, Tommy.
Hi,
Who are you playing, Tommy?
I'm gonna be Sebastian.
You're another Sebastian. Very nice.
Yeah.
Sebastian the crab was my favorite.
Wow.
And I had a hermit crab and named him Sebastian.
Is that
They just don't live that long, but I had one. Yeah. How
Happy
great.
crab.
Happy
Amazing.
crab. He's an amazing happy crab.
Yep.
And I just want to give a shout out to
Yes.
all the other adults that help out with this program. We have over 12 theater buddies from North Pocono High School.
Nice.
And from Dunmore High School. Yes. And we have parents and caretakers that bring our stars to rehearsal every week, once a week for 8 weeks. And we have the committee, the executive committee, Betty and Eileen, Lindsay and Avery and Nancy and anyone else that I might be forgetting. We're giving
Patty.
you a shout out.
Patty.
Yep. And Margaret, right? We have wonderful people
Nice.
behind the scenes doing the costumes.
Who is here from ARC that could tell us about everything, or at least more of what ARC does?
Anyone?
I have no
Anyone?
idea.
Well,
We have a lot of activities on Thursday nights.
Yeah, the art.
Kristen can say it. Kristen, come on over and say what happens at the ARC. What do you
We
offer?
go on Thursdays to like activities. This Thursday, we're supposed to have practice, but all of our archangels are going to the baseball game.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah, wonderful. And
Yeah.
you have a bowling? You have a bowling
Bowling
program?
league.
Yeah.
And who leads that? Who leads the activities?
Mari.
Mari, she's a rock
Mari.
star.
Yeah.
Mari is a rock star.
There's advocacy programs, day
Advocacy?
programs.
Day programs?
Yes.
Yes.
Summer camp for
Both.
Summer camp for the youth? Well, for everybody, right?
intellectual,
Soccer.
intellectual
For the adults?
disabilities.
I
No,
like
the
all
youth.
of them.
Oh, for the youth. I
Until
see.
21,
Yeah.
I think.
I like all of them.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's really
but
a
some,
wonderful-
but it's a whole array of services for young people and young adults who have disability. Yeah, absolutely fascinating. This is great work. All right, tell us about. We were talking about some of these things when we were not on the air. You've started practicing about 8 weeks ago.
We did. So every year, we
That's right.
carve out 6 Wednesdays and 2 Thursdays, and we practice from
Good
an hour and a half.
old see.
An hour and a half, and they all come and they show up. And the first night, we have, of course, our choreographer, Tina.
Nice.
She's been with us for 9 years as well. Tina and I have been a team. Tina Sones-Williams and her sister, Jen. And, yeah, they hear the music for the first night. The next week we come and they audition. We give out parts. And you know the wonderful part, Bob? They support every single person that gets the role. It's unlike any theatrical experience that I've had the pleasure of directing.
And by the way, no egos here because we've got multiple Ariels, we've got multiple Sebastians, and they all love sharing the part.
That's the beauty.
Yeah.
They celebrate each other. You don't
It's a
really see
Disney
that in the real
princess
world
show.
of Broadway or
Absolutely
high school or
fantastic.
college theater. We get a little bit more backbiting and a little bit more, jealousy going on. There's none of that. There's no expectation, right? There is no, right, Shannon?
Yeah.
That's right. And it's just total support and love.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a pretty
So, all right,
amazing
so
program.
is there anybody we missed introducing before we let you leave? I'm not letting you leave until we've met everybody we have to meet.
Anybody?
Nope.
No?
Anybody know where that line comes from? What show? What movie? Anybody? Anybody? Anybody?
No.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yes.
There we go.
Oh, yeah,
there
that
we go.
I watched
Well,
it.
honored to have everybody in the studio today, and I'm so happy. I'm still shocked that it's a year since we were here together, but excited for this upcoming June 11th. And you guys will make sure you call in to remind our audience about the event.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But I'm excited for you guys. I'm excited. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we're just honored you came down to be with us today. Okay.
So there are no tickets, Bob.
No
It's just
tickets.
free
You'll walk
admission.
in and enjoy.
You walk in and enjoy. We have some raffle baskets for
Let's
support.
make this the best of both worlds, like Hannah Montana.
Boy, you're a natural, Mike.
Oh, we're going to have him do some of the introductions. I'm telling you, he's ready.
He's ready.
And he said it's his first year.
This is his first year.
Yeah,
Oh,
how about
wow.
that?
We have a couple that are first
Love
years.
it. Love it. Well,
Wonderful.
thank you everybody for coming in. We loved having you be part of the show today. And you can watch it on YouTube. It's also on our podcast, which the Bulldog will do later this afternoon. It'll be available probably after 3:00. So you could listen to yourselves, you could watch yourselves a little bit, and say, yeah, that we were there, and by the way, the whole world can see you and hear you. You know that. So we're gonna make this famous.
That's beautiful. We'd love to come to your school or your theater. So we are a theatrical troupe. So give us a call at the Arc, and we can arrange to bring this show on the road. That would be my
Nice.
next
Oh,
step.
wouldn't that be great?
Wouldn't that be something?
Oh my! You know,
At a summer picnic somewhere. Wouldn't that be beautiful?
we have a little theater in this building. So we've got to think about this for next year. We're gonna think about. We could do some partial performances in that theater. All right. Well, we're gonna take a break on the program because these guys are gonna shuttle out of here and at least visit with whoever else today. But we'll take a break. We're with the gang from the Arc, the June 11th performance at the Lackawanna College. That's on tap, and we're excited. We'll take a break and be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Murph tells us this date, 1967, the Hollies released their hit Carrie Ann. Why, to show the gang from ARC our little studio here. Well, too many people come to this event. It's a free event on June 11th. It really is special. And that's an amazing gang, isn't it? Just absolutely amazing. Tenor Jim from Wilkes-Barre says he had Harry Welsh, he of Band of Brothers fame, as my English teacher when I was a sophomore at Coughlin High School in the 1960s. How about that? Tenor Jim, did he ever talk about his experiences, which were so profound that they made an amazing series, The Band of Brothers? These are just incredible people. What you have to... you've got to watch some of these shows. And I'm not a big fan of older movies. But this 1962 black and white, The Longest Day, it was incredible. And I said it was only matched many years later, meaning the coverage or a movie about the D-Day experience and the incredible courage, bravery, danger, all of that, by Saving Private Ryan, which gave you a little bit more of the blood and guts of the situation, of the assault and all that. But man, we have our veterans to thank for literally everything. And I'm happy we have those days and those weekends. Hey, they're fun, but they're also a time to truly, truly remember what these people did for us. It's quite amazing. Body Shop Guy saying hi. Where you been, Body Shop Guy? Where have you been? Hey, or just a reminder, our gang at Roach Supply, they are bringing us the live stream. And the beauty of the live stream is that it's recorded and it's there forever, like this last segment we did with the kids from the gang from ARC. It's recorded forever, and it's up on YouTube, and you can find the old shows. You can find the live stream thanks to our friends at Roach Supply. They are the premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania. They're in Honesdale. They're in Clark Summit under the name of Chapman Supply, their sister company, celebrating 75 years in business. And you know what that means? That means if you get your kitchen and your bath furnished by them, designed by them, they'll be there to service, number one. Number two, they've been doing it with honesty, integrity, and talent for 75 years. RoachSupply.com, R-O-C-H-E, supply.com today. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We've got a Veterans Tribute, and then we could get into politics now. We get into politics. Why not? It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Our Veterans Tribute this hour, as with every hour, this day as with every day, brought to you by our friend John Basiliga, friend of the veterans, friend of this country, a true patriot. And it's a Tuesday, so we talk about his Serenity Care personal care community, the gold standard for senior living in Northeast Pennsylvania and beyond. 4 locations in the Mid-Valley section of Lackawanna County, Old Forge in Lackawanna County, Wyoming, and Kingston. Personal care services with dementia care units at the Mid-Valley and Kingston locations. All 4 of these locations, because John he just has a passion for providing the highest quality senior care here in Northeast Pennsylvania. He's totally renovated inside and out. They're accepting new residents. And it's made simple. Serenity Care, your senior living standard in Northeast Pennsylvania. Linda Nuss. We lost her May 4th this year. She was 83 years old. She was from Berwick, daughter of the late Fred and Margaret Wolfe Nuss. She served this country proudly with the Army during the Vietnam conflict. The Richard Disk Funeral Home handled her services. Linda Nuss. Kazimir Azaravich. He was 99 years old when we lost him May 5th. He was from Pittston. Beloved father and husband. His wife, this is amazing, the former Irma Bellamori, resided with him at the Gino Murley Veterans Facility in Scranton. The couple had been married 70 years. Born in Pittston in 1926, Kaz was the son of the late Mary and Joseph Azaravich. Prior to retirement, he was a heavy equipment operator for American Asphalt. He later worked as security officer at Pocono Downs. Kaz was a gentleman of the greatest generation, devout Catholic, and member of St. John the Evangelist Parish in Pittston, where he had served as head usher. A proud veteran of the U.S. Army, serving honorably in World War II. Surviving a daughter and a son, brothers, sisters, and other family members, 99 years young. Kazimir Azaravich. Our great veterans this hour, brought to you by our man, John Basiliga, and his Serenity Care senior living community. AccuWeather forecast brought to you by the gang at Montage. They're getting the water park ready. They're getting concerts and all kinds of events ready. We'll be talking to them about that. But for now, they're going to give you the weather. Today, less humid with sun through high clouds. A gorgeous day, 83 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 64. Tomorrow, very warm with sun through high clouds, high 85, low 57. Thursday, breezy and less humid with partial sunshine, high 72, low 48. Friday, partly sunny and pleasant. Breezy in the afternoon, 73 degrees with a low of 51. Saturday, breezy with periods of clouds and sunshine, a shower in spots in the afternoon. A little cooler, at least they say so now. 66 degrees with a low of 45. And that's your weather, brought to you by your place for summer fun, Montage Mountain. I got to hang around with Tina Morocco on Friday night, which was great. And here she is in all of her glory. Tina Morocco, Global Sales Advisor at Premier Sotheby's International in Naples, Florida. You can reach her at Sotheby's in Naples, or you go to literally any social media, Tina Morocco, Muracco, or go to her website, Tina Morocco, Muracco.com. Tina, how are you?
I'm fantastic, Bob. How are you?
I'm doing great. We had the gang in from ARC here today, and it was awesome. And they've got their big
I heard
play.
some of that. That's great.
Yeah, amazing people. And it's across the board. Parents, the people who work with them, the kids themselves, the young adults and adults of themselves, amazing group. So, well, Tina, what do you have for us today? What's on your mind?
I got lots for you today.
All right,
as usual.
Good.
Yeah, so today I wanted to talk about a concept that I don't know if we have in Northeast PA. We have it in Southwest Florida, especially in Naples. It's called in-town acreage. I don't know if you've heard of that or if that is a term that's used here in Scranton or the areas. But in Naples, in-town acreage refers to a couple communities that are they're east of US 41, so east of Tamiami Trail, so they're not in flood zones, and they're all properties that have at least 1 acre around them. And so it's usually from 1 acre to maybe 3 or 4 acres, no HOA, and these are typically folks that really value privacy, and these are usually homes that are large estate homes. But we have a bunch of communities like Logan Woods, we have Pine Ridge Estates, we have Collier Woods, Weber Woods, Livingston Woods, and probably forgetting a couple of them, but no HOAs in any of these communities, so you can build whatever you want, which makes it very interesting. A lot of these properties have more than one structure, meaning they have, a main house and then they have a guest house or a casita with them. And so I don't know if you guys know what casitas are. They're big in Southwest Florida. Casitas are typically attached structures to the main house, but they have a separate entrance and lots of times used for in-laws or, family members to come and go as they please, but, they're attached. Guest homes are unattached from the property. But so we're seeing a lot of compounds in these areas, multiple structures for extended family. But, large, lush estates sometimes, or sometimes people that like to have horses or chickens or, there's no HOA. Yeah. So there's a variety of things out there. So that's in-town acreage in Naples. That's what you get around there. But, yeah, I was going to say, but if that price point, so those are large estate homes, and those are homes from, I would say from 2,000 square feet to 10,000 square feet. Price points are, anywhere from $1 million to $15 million. These are, valuable properties in Naples. But if your budget isn't that, and that type of property is attractive to you, we have Golden Gate Estates in Naples, and that's a huge area. It's a little bit east of Naples, but it's the same concept. Each lot is at least 1.25 acres, no HOA restrictions, a lot more privacy, and we have similar homes. We have smaller homes there, but the price points there start like from $400,000, and they go all the way up to a couple $1 million. They're not seeing as a high price point like like the Pine Ridge Estates of $15 million, but Golden Gate Estates a little further out. You're looking at more of a 30-minute drive to the beach as opposed to in-town acreage. You're like 15 minutes away from, on North Naples and Mercado. But Golden Gate, you're close, and the price point's lower, and there's still no HOA restrictions, so you can really build whatever you want. Or you can, the resales are, there's a lot of new construction in that area. So lots of options for lots of different price points.
Really neat.
With no HOA.
So there's acreage to be had, and developments that incorporate acreage. Neat.
Yeah, and that's what I've actually had a lot of first-time home buyers that are full-time residents in Naples buy in Golden Gate, And their reason was, I know that I'm not going to be able to get this type of land 10 or 15 years from now in Naples. So they want that property. How fast Naples is building up in Southwest Florida in general. So they value the land. So, and the privacy, I think.
And investing in themselves. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. In-town acreage.
Neat. That's neat. Well, I love it. Tina, thank you so much. We look forward to talking to you later in the week.
Absolutely.
But in-town acreage is our theme today. Tina Morocco, Global Sales Advisor, Premier Sotheby's International, Naples, or get her at any social media or her own website, Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com. Thanks, Tina.
Thanks, Bob. Take care.
All right. She always does bring the sunshine, doesn't she? We'll take a break and be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Murph tells us this date, 1970. George Harrison began recording his album, All Things Must Pass, at EMI's Abbey Road Studios in London, England. The album produced his biggest hit, My Sweet Lord, that song there. Amazing. Bob Cordaro back with you on WILK. Still on a high with the ARC gang coming in today. Somebody texted in, and this is so sadly true. Paige Cognetti now running on kitchen table everyday issues like $5 gasoline, no data centers, lower utility bills, newly paved streets. By the way, all of which she will do nothing about. But let's continue. Paige, do something now. And where were you the last 6 years when Biden in the White House, you got nothing done, no pool, no paved streets. Now you're doing things 5 months before the midterms. Don't be fooled, voters, says this listener. Yep, that's what we'll keep telling you. Let's not be fooled. And she's a left-wing lunatic. On top of all that, on top of incompetence, left-wing lunatic. Loony. Her greatest accomplishment is taking the urinals out of the city hall. And, by the way, not letting you in to City Hall. Amazing. Let's go to Peter from Shavertown. Peter, how are you?
Hey, Bob. Good morning. LTS.
LTS back at you, man.
Hey, God bless the veterans and the recognition you keep on the focus you keep on them, and obviously the ultimate sacrifice. And the weekend we just celebrated, obviously, is an important one. So in that spirit, I also wanted to call and mention, give an announcement, because Plymouth Borough's got something going on. To continue that recognition and the celebration of the 250th anniversary of the country, as well as Plymouth's 160th. Plymouth is one of the oldest boroughs of the valley.
Oh, great town, hasn't it? Man.
Yes, great town. A lot of history there, and they are celebrating both of those things, as well as the 40th anniversary of the Historical Society down there this weekend on Saturday, May 30th, where they're going to have a parade starting at 11 a.m. at the lower end of Plymouth in front of the hometown market, and then they're going to have fair and music and activities for the kids going throughout the afternoon. But everybody's invited to come out and celebrate. Again, at the lower end of Plymouth, and enjoy the day.
That's neat. Hey, you know what? And they do a great event. I'm a Kilbassi Festival guy, and they just know how to do a great event on that main drag, don't they?
Absolutely. There's a lot of history there, and not just the Kilbassi event. Actually, a lot of people don't know, but years ago, I remember unveiling a marker down at in the front of the old Plymouth Armory there at the lower end of Plymouth, where they discovered years back that the Abijah Smith Coal Company was the first commercial anthracite colliery in the nation, established in Plymouth.
Wow.
So there's a lot of history there, and a lot to get people out on. Go ahead.
Well, Peter, you're going to have to call in again just to remind people. Call in again later this week just to remind people of what's going on now. So that's this Saturday.
Opportunity, Bob. Will do. Would love the opportunity. Thanks so much. We'll talk Friday.
We love our town. We love Plymouth. We do absolutely love it. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
All right. This Saturday, so not only celebrating our 250th, it's celebrating their 160th in Plymouth and the 40th anniversary of their own historical society, which they deserve to have one. There's no doubt about it. How great is that? Somebody texting, Bob, George Harrison was sued over that song. Well, you got to give me more detail than that, or you have to call in. You can't be telling me to look things up, because I'm not going to look that up. You're going to tell me, because you're a great listener. You've given me a nice nugget of information, and now you got to take it to the next step. By the way, Mark the Shark from Hazelton, he texted in, and this is a quote from William Henry Channing, clergyman and reformer. I don't get to read them often, but I discovered a minute or two here. And here's what William Henry Channing says. To live content with small means, to seek elegance rather than luxury, and refinement rather than fashion, to be worthy, not respectable, wealthy, not rich, to listen to stars and birds, babes and sages with an open heart, to study hard, to think quietly, act frankly, talk gently, await occasions, hurry never. In a word, to let the spiritual, unbidden, and unconscious grow up through the common. This is my symphony. How about that? That's abs. It is not a lot of there are a number of sayings that catch and capture what you would consider the essence of life. Well, that's one of them. That's awesome. Really good stuff. Thank you, Mark the Shark from Hazleton. We appreciate it and love it. Hey, just want to remind you, I'm not even having my tea and honey today because we just had this whole gang here. But I got my honey, and this is they're not advertisers, but I got my honey from the mulberry bush, which moved from Mulberry Street in Scranton to Hopkins Farm in Falls. And they got everything. They got all the same things, your flowers, all the stuff, all the arrangements for the cemetery, everything you might possibly need. You just see Michael and Helene up there, and you'll be happy you did. This is still same great place. In fact, in some ways greater, even better. I'm looking at my monitor, and there's these protesters at a New Jersey ICE site. Now, I really want to know what these idiots think the alternative is. What's the alternative to removing criminal illegal aliens? What's the alternative to removing the millions that were let into this country intentionally and illegally by the Biden administration and the Democrat insanity? I really don't understand it. And by the way, it comes down to this, and it's this sad and this simple. People are moving out of areas where the left governs, where the Democrat Party governs. They're moving out of those areas because those policies suck. And they're moving away, and so illegal aliens are their way to keep up their census count so they have as many congressional districts as they can, as many state representative districts as they can, as much federal money flowing to the areas as they can. It has nothing to do with compassion for illegal aliens. But then the idiot followers, the blind followers, they're doing it. And why is the Democrat Party become so sick? Because the billionaire class that hates this country, the Soroses, the Singhams, the Arabella group, because they want to destroy the country, and they've got these useful idiots helping. Unbelievable. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We've got Monday Musings on a Tuesday with our man, John Perillo, when we return, 11:01 and change on my Bacardo Jewelers watch. We'll be back. You know it, baby. Great good morning, everyone. 11:09 a.m. I'm at Cordaro Jewelers Watch this beautiful Tuesday, May 26th, the year of our Lord 20 and 26, here in the great Northeast. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Serenity Care senior living community, the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we've lost this year but celebrate today, thanks to John, like Linda Nuss of Berwick, Casimir Azaravich of Pittston, Dorothy Kramer, Scranton, James Tierney, Chapman Lake, John O'Shea, Scranton, and Hank Suffnar, late of New Jersey, but he was from Mayfield. So with history, our amazing founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order after that brief news adjournment, this meeting of the Club for Common Sense promising you that our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all who hearken here. Yeah, we're back. Bob LTS, if the Republicans open up the Strait of Hormuz, which Democrats really don't want to happen, the Republicans will stay in power. Not for the next 2 years, but 10 years. And then all the damage the Biden administration did will be reversed. The Republicans got to get high gas prices down before it's too late. It's got to be at least $2.98 a gallon by the midterms. I don't know what we're waiting for. There's got to be something we don't know. These fake negotiations. You don't negotiate with liars and terrorists. There's something else behind this delay, whether it's lack of munitions or maybe we've been worn down a little bit. You know, this has been a real long deployment for so many of the soldiers and sailors. I know there's trepidation about putting boots on the ground. We've got to put boots on the ground in order to control the Strait of Hormuz, and that is unalterable. And we've got to do that while continuing the blockade. I don't understand what is President Trump and his team are waiting for to do that. I don't understand. And you know, I'm a big fan of their foreign policy. I'm a big fan of what they're doing and why they're doing it to prevent World War III and the apocalypse that the Iranian sickos want to bring about. Now finish it. Finish it. Well, it's not Monday. It's Tuesday. And you know what that means. That means it's time for Monday Musings on a Tuesday with our man, John Perillo. John, how are you, brother?
Good morning, Bob. You got a lot going on.
Oh, I'm in a lather. I'm in a lather. Our great people from ARC were here, and we just a joy. And then you know, when I get thinking about this Strait of Hormuz situation and these fake negotiations, which is all they are, we know they're not going to live up to anything they promise.
Yeah, I think you know, first of all, if you're going to preempt me for those guys. They're wonderful.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that. And I think, yeah, you bring up a great point on the Strait. I mean, we're a long way from unconditional surrender. And I think, you know, when you hear the president say, you know, that they don't make bad deals, there isn't any deal to be had. At this point, it doesn't appear to be any deal. And I think, we kind of touched on that last week. I mean, there's really no incentive for the Iranians to have a deal. As long as they control the Strait, they don't really care about what happens to the economics. If, you know, $200 barrel oil actually helps them, they starve their people. They've been starving their people for a long time.
Yep.
You know, they become a third world country. They're a third world country now. Right. So, you know, I don't really see that as being a positive thing. And I know we're limited in time, and I thought maybe, you know, just a quick thought on Memorial Day before we go on to the next thing.
We don't want Memorial Day to pass without continued mention. So I'm happy for that.
And you mentioned it. I know I mentioned it before, but there's a place at the Naval Academy called Memorial Hall, and as you walk up the steps to Bancroft Hall, which is the big, largest dormitory in the world, that you see this flag from Admiral Perry, and on the original flag, cannonball holes in the whole thing,
wow,
with the words "Don't give up the ship" on it. And around the perimeter of that hall are murals and famous naval engagements, along with the names of every alumni who's ever lost their life defending the great nation. And I used to pass this hall every day on the way to Chow for 4 years. And I'm sorry to say that at the time, I never gave it much thought. I was what was called in the parlance of the day an academic rock.
Yeah.
So I was either sweating thermo or electrical engineering or DiffyQs or whatever the heck it was. And I was much more worried about graduating than the legacy of anybody who went before me. But anyone who spent any time in the military eventually learns about Memorial Day the hard way. And, at our founding, something like 1 in every 16 citizens perished during the Revolutionary War. We look at the overall numbers and go, well, it's pretty low. But as a percentage of the population, it was absolutely huge. And then as Bob's Daily Tribute reminds us, it takes extraordinary courage to either face freezing to death, which quite literally was happening in Maine in the 1700s, to the troops there, all the way to standing shoulder to shoulder with a fellow Marine to stop a truck bomb that's going to destroy your little compound there. And all the way to our most recent arrivals at Dover, all those people keep us free because human nature never changes, and that will always be the case. And I just do hope that you and your listeners have your traditions that you continue to honor. Finer people than that I've never known, and until Valhalla, I hope to see you guys again. But again, I know you got other things, and it's a short day. But yes, we need to take a look at what's going on in Iran and to understand it, and to understand that once again, it's going to fall to a very small group of people to make sure that we're able to survive economically. And I wish them the best.
John, a question for you: do you feel like we're becoming detached from our military because it isn't as ingrained in society? When I do these veterans tributes, for World War II, Korean, Vietnam vets, it was almost de rigueur. Hey, if you weren't specifically going to college, which was a lot less people back then going to college, right, you very often went in and served the country. And so it was so much a part of the fabric. And now that's less and less so. And with all the veterans we're losing from the past, are we getting separated as, here's society and here's the military? I worry about that.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent question. I think, if you go back to like George Bush 1, there was a very wealthy family that there was an expression in Latin, a noble obligation.
Noblesse oblige. Noblesse oblige.
That you were required as a person who had been treated well by your country to give something back. And, there's no reason that Bush 1 had to go to World War II. He's a wealthy man, came from a wealthy family, and he goes and he gets shot down, and then literally survives on a raft and goes on to become president of the United States, right? So there's that, which I think is diminished now. I don't think, a lot of people view that as an obligation anymore. Mm-hmm. And the second thing is I think the military has become almost a family business. And I don't mean that in a good way. I think, your veterans and a lot of, people, they're in the military, their kids wind up in the military, but that's becoming a smaller and smaller cadre. It's not as widespread as it used to be. So service was more widespread. And so, we don't know the number of people that we used to know who were in the military, and we don't have the family connection. So if, for instance, we were to send the Marines in, to secure the area around the strait, the amount of families that would be affected by that decision is infinitesimal. Now, those families are affected by it, and they're, but the rest of the country doesn't think that way because we don't have that same spreading out of the military and society. And I think I'm with you, Bob. I think that's a bad thing, right? And I don't know how to fix it. To your young people out there who are listening and trying to figure out what to do, the military is it's a different life, and it's a lot harder than I think a lot of other things, but I think it's also a great life. And if you love your country and you feel like you owe your country something, which I guarantee you do, it's something you might want to consider.
Quickly, if you can, we had a guy named Teddy Daniels. He's a local guy. he's become embroiled in politics, as has Chris Kyle. Because this scumbag running is going to be the Democrat nominee for U.S. Senate in Maine has criticized both in almost, I don't know, evil fashion. Have you followed that at all? What is that about? And he's a veteran, which makes it more disgraceful.
I don't know the specifics around that case, and I would say that in general, one of the things I'm seeing that I don't like is that in the past, as military people, we tended not to criticize other military people because your view of the world is different depending on where you served and what you did, and unless you're the CENTCOM commander, your view of the war and service is so small because it's what you have. It's right in front of you. It's your team, your people, if you got shot at, if you didn't get shot at, if you don't get it's hard to criticize somebody who did something different because it's hard to know what they did.
Yeah.
But in general, we just didn't do that. We just, I don't think it's another interesting trend. And I think people now see their service as a ticket to being able to say things that they otherwise wouldn't say. And I'm not sure that's a good thing either.
No. So. Hey, we've got to go now, but we do need. I just dawned on me when we were talking about the academy. You have deep respect for the Naval Academy. People don't understand how hard it is to get into and to get through. And I'd really like to do one of these segments on that, on the Naval Academy. I really would.
I would love to talk to you all about that. Let me put it this way. I remember having electrical engineering and thermodynamics finals on the same day. And I came out of that feeling like a noodle. So, the academics are extraordinarily difficult, and the kids that come out of there are phenomenal. And I still respect them greatly. And to you and all your listeners, your military is still in very good hands in a lot of places.
Wait, well, we've got to do a segment. We got to devote some time to the
You got it. You got it.
John Perillo, Monday Musings, as always, informative and topical. Thank you, my man.
Have a great day. Take care.
Right.
Bye-bye.
We'll take a break. We'll be back. There's a show on Sunday, and our guy Joe Nardone's putting it on. And Robert Neary is going to do for whoever wants to go to the Kirby Center Sunday, he's going to do his show devoted, but we'll let him talk about it. He's going to be with us when we come back. How great is that? And it ain't Neil Diamond. It's Robert Neary, who's coming to the Kirby Center Sunday, May 30th. And the show's at 3 o'clock. May 31st. And here he is, the man who can do Neil Diamond like nobody else, Robert Neary. Welcome, my man. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Robert? Good to hear
I'm
from you.
doing good, and thank you for your patience with us.
No problem.
Hey, tell us, the first thing that came to my mind is, when did you discover that, like, you could cover Neil Diamond as well as anyone in the world?
Yeah, thank you. When I was in high school, actually, I was such a big fan of his, and I'd already loved Elvis for so long, and then once I discovered Neil Diamond, I was like, wow, this guy's got that same kind of baritone voice.
Yeah.
And high school, but
that's an interesting progression from Elvis to Neil Diamond. Fascinating.
Well, they called Neil the Jewish Elvis.
How about that?
Keeping it all together with both of them. Yeah.
Wow, I never heard that. All right, tell me. So you've got this affinity. You discover, hey, I could do this really well. And fast forward, what's the break you get, or when do you start performing this publicly?
Yeah. Well, it was right before the pandemic. 2018 actually. Neil Diamond had retired from concert touring, and of course I was such a big fan. I've been an actor. I was an actor, all my life for about 35 years, and all of a sudden I just found myself not auditioning much anymore, and I just, I'm like, okay, I got to do something for myself. I got to do, just that I can do, and I don't have to worry about auditioning. And so I said, okay, you know what? I'll put together a great Neil Diamond tribute show, and everything just fell into place. I met the most incredible band here on Long Island called The Mystic. Asked them if they wanted to join me, and they said yes. And we put it together during the pandemic. We perfected it. Well, not perfected it, but we got it down solid. We got agents, and here we are 5 years later with Polestar's got us ranked at the #1 Neil Diamond tribute touring. So.
Well, and it's interesting. You made the point that I was going to make, which is with Neil Diamond no longer able to perform, and what a loss that is. We need you to do this for us. I say, a friend of mine just passed on, this Doc Doherty, and he was a Neil Diamond. I mean, just a groupie, if you could almost call him. But without Neil Diamond performing, we got you, and man, it's perfect timing for all Neil Diamond fans.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. There's a lot out there, but we pride ourselves, in making it, the most professional, with my background on Broadway and everything, and we just pride ourselves in making it the best that we can, and it shows. And people and critics, they love it, and we're very, very happy with what we're doing. Yes, thank you.
Well, Joe Nardone knows his shows, and Joe Nardone knows who's good and who's not. And if he picked you, that means you're good. And playing just that little sample of music, you could tell how great you are.
I heard it. I was like, oh, they're playing Neil. Oh no, that's my cut.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
I know people were saying, oh, I wonder why he's playing Neil Diamond. Because we do music history that our friend Murph provides for us every day. And so we're playing that. I said, I know they were waiting for the music history. What did Neil Diamond do on this date? Oh, no. Robert Neary is coming to town on the 31st.
Yeah, this Sunday. This
Sunday,
wow. Yeah. At the Kirby.
How many shows do you do a year? How often do you do this, guys?
Yeah, we're constantly booked. We do an average of 50 shows a year.
Wow.
Anywhere between 40 and 60. This year we've had over 60. Currently, from this point on, we have 56 going. We're constantly booking. We've been to 38 states now. 38 in only 5 years, and it's just tremendous. It's just incredible how I just. I'm like, okay, you know what? I want to do this. I want to put this together. And it's all fallen into place. It really has. and it shows. You know, we got great followers, great fans. I mean, who doesn't like Neil Diamond?
Yeah. Robert
You know,
Neary's
like-
our guest.
like you said.
He's appearing at the Kirby Center 3:00 on Sunday, May 31st, with a Neil Diamond tribute show. And so you're doing this. Basically, this is what you do. Did you ever think back in high school when you discovered Neil Diamond that you'd be able to do this?
No, as a matter of fact, like I said, I would go to the piano and I would sing "Hello Again" and stuff from the Jazz Singer.
Yeah.
I always just had it. No, acting was the forefront. I always wanted to be an actor. I never thought I would be doing a tribute to Neil Diamond, let alone how big it is now. I just wanted to be an actor, get out to California and do stuff, movies and TV, and and then it's great. It was a great fallback.
Yeah,
It's been the most successful thing in my career, actually. It's been the constant and the most successful thing. So,
Robert Neary's our guest. He is doing a Neil Diamond tribute show this Sunday, May 31st at the Kirby Center, 3:00. You'll discover, if you haven't performed there before, it's a beautiful venue.
I saw pictures, yeah.
Yeah, and it befits the show and the quality of the music and performance that you guys deliver in this Neil Diamond tribute. It really befits how good you guys are at it. I'm guessing you just keep getting better and better every year.
You know what? It continues to evolve.
Yeah.
It continues to evolve. We've added songs. We've added We've added more instruments. We've added background singers. We've added more elements. We're doing a huge show out on Long Island in a few weeks. That we got. We got the choir from my old high school. That's an all-county choir. I wish I could bring this production to every show, but it just continues to evolve.
Yeah.
Nobody has seen. At the beginning it was just straight through, and it's fantastic how it just continues to evolve. And the people's and they keep buying tickets and they go, wow, you changed this, you changed this.
Yeah.
The multimedia keeps changing, and it's fantastic. Yeah.
Robert Neary, you probably get, and maybe not directly, but you probably hear often, thank you for doing this because I can't see Neil Diamond anymore.
Oh, it is. Oh my gosh, it's the greatest compliment. It's the greatest accolade. I do a meet and greet after the show with the guys. We sign autographs, and we sell some merchandise. The tears in the eyes of the people who just shake our hands.
Yeah.
They grew up on Neil Diamond's music. Their mom was a Neil Diamond fan. Their dad never stopped playing Neil Diamond. The accolades are second to none with the thank yous. Absolutely, you're absolutely right, and that is the most amazing part of the whole show.
That's neat stuff. Hey, Robert, if you have a chance, and we've been emailing each other, we'd love to have you on at least one more time this week, just because I think this is a show that people should see. I really do, and they can't see it anywhere else. They can't. There's no Neil Diamond. There's Robert Neary and his Neil Diamond tribute show.
Yes, thank you. No, I'll be more than happy to. Yeah, I think we're doing a show in Jersey on Friday, South Jersey, but then we're driving all the way up to PA, and so absolutely, I got plenty of time whenever we can.
We'll coordinate it. I want to hear from you again. Thank you so much. Robert Neary, he and his gang will be doing a Neil Diamond tribute show Sunday at 3:00 at the Kirby Center. Another great production of our man Joe Nardone. We appreciate you coming on and look forward to talking to you again, Robert.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, we're going to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll be back. Our Veterans Tribute this hour, as with every hour, this day, as with every day, proudly brought to you by our man, John Basiliga, and his great, today we feature his great Serenity Care, personal care community, a company that has brought senior living to its highest standard in Northeast Pennsylvania. They've got 4 locations: Mid-Valley, section of Lackawanna County, Old Forge, Wyoming, Kingston. All 4 have been completely renovated inside and out, and they're accepting new residents. All-inclusive monthly rent. Newly renovated state-of-the-art private, semi-private suites and companion suites. Individually controlled heating and cooling in each resident room. Emergency call systems in every room. Medication administration, daily housekeeping, freshly prepared restaurant quality meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and much more. Check out Serenity Care. John O'Shea. We lost him May 1st. He was 77 years old. He was from Scranton. Born in that city. Son of the late John O'Shea and Genevieve Joyce Gassman. He was a graduate of St. Patrick's High School and served all of us in the U.S. Army. He continued serving because he became a Scranton cop. That was where his career was. He also served at Montage Mountain in security. He's survived by his wife, Jane Petrosky O'Shea, son Fred, grandchildren, brothers-in-law, and many other family members. John O'Shea. Henry Hank Suffnar. He died May 1st. He was from Pennington, New Jersey, a former resident of Mayfield, PA. He was 89 years old when he passed. Born and raised in Mayfield, the youngest of 9. Graduated from the former Mayfield High School in 1954 and Williamsport Technical Institute. He worked as an electronics technician for Daystrom Instrument Division in Archbald before enlisting in the Army, stationed in Carbondale. He was a proud Army veteran serving in the National Guard for the world-famous 109th Infantry, training in Fort Dix, New Jersey, and serving in Kentucky. He was an expert marksman and also served in the United States Army Reserve. In 1964, he married the love of his life, Joanne Miserak of Jessup. They moved to Trenton, New Jersey, where he worked at Research and Development Department of the Heinemann Electric Company in Lawrence Township. He then founded his own residential building and remodeling business, which he operated until his retirement. He moved his family to Ewing, New Jersey, and then built a home for them in Pennington, where he lived out his remaining years. Devoted husband of 62 years, proud father of 3 daughters, loving grandfather of 4, avid hunter and fisherman, member of the St. James Parish in Pennington, also a member of the Parish Crash Club, where they took trips to West Virginia and other impoverished areas. He helped build ramps for the disabled. He loved to travel with his wife, and his sense of humor, work ethic, and attention to detail was unmatched. He was a positive soul, and even during his long illness, he would say, "Every day, I feel great, and what a beautiful day to be alive." He is survived by his beloved wife, Joanne, his daughters, and many, many other family members. Hank Suffnar. Our great veterans this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and his great Serenity Care personal care community. AccuWeather forecast. Today, less humid with sun. It'll be coming through high clouds as opposed to low ones, but the high will be 83. Now, I wonder if the high clouds are at Montage. Well, they're way above even Montage Mountain. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 64. Tomorrow, very warm with sun through high clouds again. Higher than Montage Mountain. High 85, low 57. So a couple of gorgeous days. Thursday, breezy, less humid, partial sunshine, 70 degrees 2 degrees, low 48. Friday, partly sunny and pleasant, breezy in the afternoon, 73 degrees, low 51. Saturday, breezy with periods of clouds and sunshine, a shower in spots in the afternoon, high 66, low 45. So a little bit of cooling projected for the weekend. We'll see how it develops. Right now, 74 degrees at the Great Montage Mountain. Murph tells us that May 26, 1972, after Mott the Hoople announced they were breaking up, David Bowie offered them his song, All the Young Dudes. They recorded it, and it revived their career, and it was the creation of a rock anthem. Yes, it is. That's a great song. Hey, one of our friends, Joe Grantini, says, I'm disappointed with the subject matter your show has adopted. Now, I'm not clear on what that means, but he says our country's under assault from the left, not to mention some of your other shows on WILK. But it seems there's mostly milquetoast filler that are the main content, and very few callers because you failed to introduce relevant local and national issues. Sorry, but this is my take. Joe, I would urge you to call in. Call in and tell us what you have cooking. I've got no problem with that. But that's his email. I think we cover the subjects. I think we cover the issues. I think we dissect where the left is coming from and the evil that has overtaken the Democrat Party. I think we do all of that. Both our listeners, the contributors, and myself. I think that's the entire basis of the show, is to uncover what we are witnessing. When somebody else texts in, your voice and talk show heard globally over the internet. It's a must-win for the midterms because this is all the Democrats really have. Nobody there wants an open border, transgender ideology on innocent children, men and women's sports, DEI agenda. But gas prices have to go down because voters will vote on impulse and frustration. Bob, please help. I'm trying. And you nailed it. You nailed it. It's so true. And that listener says, Bob, you got to go to work on these gas prices. Well, I can't do anything about it. What I say is, and I don't understand the delay, we've got to, and Trump he's the most decisive president in my lifetime. Like, okay, We've got to open the strait, and if it's boots on the ground required to push back and control areas of Iran that make the strait vulnerable and shipping in the strait vulnerable to the Iranian sickos, then we got to do it. And we can't hesitate any longer. These negotiations are fake. They're fake. They're not going to do anything. And we really should be helping on regime change. And I was said to somebody this morning, I said, if I'm Donald Trump, I'd be looking at the current clowns. Mark Mayer called him Baghdad Bob, their foreign minister. And I think we got to take out another level and layer of leadership in Iran. That on top of it. So we've got to continue the blockade to crush their economy and have people in Iran, 90 million normal people in Iran, Persians, take back their country from these Islamist sickos. We've got to do that. And we've got to open the Strait of Hormuz for the sake of the world economy, not just ours, and not just the political situation. But as somebody pointed out, the Democrats didn't give a spit about high gas prices. They were creating them in the Biden administration. And now they're all upset. The Page Cognettis of the world are upset about gas prices and had nothing to say when they were intentionally increased. Picardo says it's 1150. A total embarrassment, Joe Biden. Biden banner disgrace. Stolen valor, day 163. The Greenridge Neighborhood Association, and please contact them respectfully but firmly, asking them to take this embarrassing banner down. The Hometown Heroes banner they erected pretends that Joe Biden served. And that's what the banners are for. Not for people who dodge service like Joe Biden did, let alone a disgrace that he is as a human being, as a president, as a stain on Northeast Pennsylvania. Biden banner disgrace, day 163. Take the banner down. Hey, shout out to one of, we love our cops, you know that. But a shout out to our man, Kyle Gilmartin. He's with my man, Nibs Lotney. Now, he was fortunate that Nibs was never his boss because he served in Scranton. Didn't have to work for Nibs, but you know what? And talk about an achievement in the depths of his difficulties. Kyle Gilmartin, if not for him, the Kyle Gilmartin Act, which is just passed by the Pennsylvania House and Senate, would not be law. And it protects cops and adds extra punishment to those who would harm our police. And let's go a step further. People should be punished for disrespecting our police. So shout out to Kyle. Joe from Trips Park, high gas prices to prevent terrorists from having a nuclear weapon versus high prices due to incompetence are two very different things. Amen. Another Green New Deal. Remember the bike lane. Paige Cognetti for Scranton. Somebody says, Bob can no longer sugarcoat the high gas prices. We can and will lose the midterms if not addressed. If we don't address, no one will. Let's go to work and fix the problem so Rob can beat Paige Cognetti, who never said a word about high gas prices when her buddy Biden blew them up with the new Green Deal. Yep. It's what is. It's a lie. It's all based on lies. That's who they are. And that's all they've got. Lies. Sad. Just say you're a left-wing lunatic and run it that way. That's fine. And let the people decide. But no, they're going to pretend they're not. Hey, Don McLean, Murph tells us this date, 1971, he recorded his classic hit, American Pie, at the record plant in New York City. Nobody knew what a monster hit it would be. He actually, I remember Buddy Mecca from Ralph telling me, he opened for Ralph before this became a hit. Don McLean did. Amazing, isn't it? All right, so, guys, we got to go. I look at my Picardo's watch and it says, Bob, you're out of time. The Sue Henry show's next. The Rob O'Donnell show after that. So what do we have to do? Well, we've got to gavel to a close to today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense and tell you adios and have a great afternoon. God willing, I'll be with you tomorrow at 9. Until then, be well, because we are adjourned.